Hey guys, this is another DC reading by Pineapple. This one was requested by my friend Uncreative Stranger. If you like the videos, leave a like. If you guys want to see more, subscribe. And anything that I read can be found on the DC Infinite app. Don't sue me. Mr. Terrific starts off regaling tales of his superhero teams he's been on, the creatures he had to face, and even the teams he was forced to create. As he reflects on these things, he focuses on the unnatural abilities of the people he worked with before stating he has a superpower as well. Now, we get the next part of this on the next page, but I like this small character reintroduction. They know a lot of people are probably going to get into him after Superman, so this is a really smart move in my opinion to have a character introduction done just like this in the first episode we see him. Gives a small intro to the character, allows us to really embrace ourselves within this character and to see what he's become, since this is a year one story, so we're working backward. We move on to page 4. Page 4, this page includes a giant panel of this Justice League jumping Darkseid. As this happens, Mr. Terrific thinks how hard it is fighting Darkseid, calling him Earthquake, or you just have to endure him, he says. He also senses something is off. After the fight concludes, he scans the energy from the rift that Darkseid created, a rift with the energy signature he's seen before. Netherlight, radiation, but something he only encountered once in Gateway City. So this kind of beckons him to go back to Gateway City. I really like the paneling here, as he thinks everything else is a blur, as you can see on screen, and then it focuses in on him like he's the only one in colors. And then the smaller panels that shows him thinking are so tight and closed off, it really kind of puts me in the mind of him. You know what I'm saying? Like as like I'm enclosed, which really implies how hard he is focusing on, even though he's just scanning it. Now, here's my personal gripe. I wonder what DC will do with this new energy source. Like, I'm hoping that this is like DC's like new Green Lantern Corps, maybe like Nether Corps. Like every time I hear new energy source, I already know like new heroes coming up. We're gonna get a new hero, and I want to see what that new hero does, and I want to see what he, accomplishes with it. DC. On page 4, we go back into Mr. Terrific past as we see him lying in bed as his brother walks in to awaken him. We learn that it's 12:42, way too late in the day to still be sleeping. Uncreative Stranger, you should know something about this, buddy. As he then gets up. Already in the first 2 panels, the story is told. Even before the characters open their mouths, we see his room. It looks nasty, it looks disheveled, which is very unlike the Mr. Terrific we know in the future. I also like the 3-way introduction here. We get his brother, his robot, and Mr. Terrific himself, which is really good. A triple introduction already. I like this because you got to save up space when it comes to comics. You want to focus on the story, so you have to introduce characters as quickly as you can, and that's awesome. His brother heads straight to the kitchen on page 6 to make Michael something to eat. Meanwhile, the robot begins to talk about Athena Prescott, the CEO, who's having a closed meeting with the mayor of the city. His brother tells the AI to shut it up and calls it propaganda, leading Michael to quickly change the subject, telling Dre he doesn't have to come every day. But Dre replies that Michael has been holed up here for 2 years. After some back and forth, we found out it's actually been 6 months since Michael been outside for more than an hour. We also learn that Dre is a fitness instructor and that Mr. Terrific is supposed to be making an app for him. Dre calls him the 3rd smartest man alive, but Michael doesn't want to hear it before finally being told to embrace it. Okay, so in my personal opinion, I really enjoyed seeing these 2 characters interact. They come off as real brothers, not like the mean cliche type, but like the cool type. I also like how Mr. Terrific doesn't talk down to his brother, even though he is smarter. You can tell that they really help each other when times are hard, and they're really there for each other. You also have to look here that this is a sore spot for Mr. Terrific, the big evil corporation that is taking over. Why is it a sore spot? Well, we don't know why yet, but we know it's a sore spot because he quickly changes the subject. Either meaning Dre feels really deeply about this, or Terrific feels really deeply about this. Do both characters feel really deeply about this? Well, this is just us theorizing. Let's go on to page 7 and see what we got here. In page 7, the first half of the page continues on the back and forth between the brothers. I have to know, Dre's unironically brings turkey bacon to his brother. You know, as a fitness instructor, they're really like slamming in that he wants him to be healthy. Way to go. And you know what? That shit may have worked out too. Because I see him hit a dude in a full metal suit in that superhero movie with just his forearm. So maybe he's onto something, bro. Maybe Dre was right about that turkey bacon. Um, they go on to talk about Jeff, who is worried about Michael. We do not know who Jeff is. I just made sure to point out this moment just in case he gets introduced later as an important character. As Michael and Drake talk, Drake picks up a random device. Mr. Terrific tells him it's a skeleton key, explaining what it does before warning him to put it down. So the skeleton key is really important. Um, it's a device that works as a skeleton key. It's not one-to-one a skeleton key. And what it does is it can open up anything. All right. Now, here's my personal opinions because I write down my personal opinions when I read each page. I think it's important to know how comfortable Mr. Terrific is around his brother. From what I've heard, he's usually a super prepared and paranoid man. So just letting Dre be in his workspace and touch his stuff is noteworthy. Um, you can tell these characters probably been a lot from each other, and that's really good. And I know we're supposed to just get that from them being brothers, but seeing moments like this to emphasize that is far more important than just being told that they're brothers. You know, you got to show it, not necessarily say it. So, really good. Page 8, we see an early version of the T-Sphere, I presume, fall to the floor, projecting a hologram of Dre. We learned that Dre recorded hundreds of hours of materials for this hologram. He really wanted to work. Mr. Terrific tells him it's going to take time. So, you know, the thing I really like about this page is like Dre's the hell because he he has the most genuine reaction. Like, although his brother is a super genius scientist, like at some point you still gotta be impressed. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be like, what the hell? What the hell? What the hell, Leonte? So Dre having that like fucking what the hell is like kind of fucking amazing because that just makes perfect sense. So and I really presume those are early version of the T spheres. I don't like how it plopped down. It makes me kind of think I'm wrong. But we see an AI, we see the early version of the T spheres. I think this is really setting up Mr. Terrific Year One. This is a great setup to Mr. Terrific Year One. On page 9, a disagreement between the two breaks out as we see Michael seemingly lost all his drive after his wife died. We learn that he sold his company to random people. Uh, well, an actually evil company who like lied to him to say that we're gonna make the world better, but he didn't send it to Queens or Stark Tech. And we know that this company is seemingly making people sick within the city. Dre tries to appeal to his brother to say something since the city really loves him. Like I'm assuming as Mr. Terrific or as uh, Professor Holt, since his name is Holt Industries. But he said after he let the company go, he signed a contract that won't allow him to say anything bad. So we learned like three things on this page. We learned Dre feels deeply about this, something we saw earlier when listening to the radio. Dre keeps trying to get Mr. Terrific involved, but Michael pushes him away, almost like he doesn't care. The woman who owns Hall Industry clearly understands Michael's intelligence and power, making her a perfect villain, a perfect schemer to Mr. Terrific. This is not something he can beat down, take it a down pound town. No, this is something he has to actively think. I'm thinking we may get like a House of Cards thing earlier. I'm pretty sure I note this around like page 10 or so. So, you know, let's go. On page 10, finally, all these small arguments break out in a huge argument where Dre suggests that she might be using Michael's and his wife's technology to make people sick. Michael insists he sold it to her because she wanted to help people, but Dre argues he just sold it to the first person who came along. Then we get it revealed Halt's wife didn't just die, his baby did too. Damn. Drake points out people are getting sick, while Hall argues people get sick all the time and says he cannot save everyone. Dre responds, but you can. That's why you made the company. Near the end, Holt tells Dre to get proof, which Dre replies, that's what an industrialist says to people that they're hurting. But let's see what happens next. This page is very interesting. Dre's clearly coming from a place of care. He cares about his brother and he cares about Gateway City, but Hole has already been beaten down. He just wants to give up. And I feel like this is what Scott Snyder was trying to do with the whole like Batman, like after his Robin died. Like they had him like 40, like in his Robin already did. They were trying to show a man disheveled, beat down by the world, hardened. And although that was cool, I think the cooler version of that would be Batman getting pulled back into the light, not being as dark and emo. So, yeah. On page 11, we see the new owner of Holt Industries finally at the meeting. She presents her new Nexus engine, which will drop electricity bills only to $20 a month. Shit, we need that in real life. But the council is skeptical, citing all the people are getting sick. She dismisses these rumors as baseless and threatens to take her engine somewhere else if they don't agree. Okay, to me, what this shows is how calculating and manipulative she is. She's using something good to lower electricity costs as a Trojan horse to get what she wants. I'm genuinely interested at how Holt will fight her. Will this turn into? I wonder, will this turn into Tech Bros House of Cards? This is where I put in my notes, guys. I'm really intrigued about what may happen next. But no, I'm actually am because Mr. Terrific, I never seen Mr. Terrific in a businessman kind of like Lex Luthor type of way. So if he has to defeat a businesswoman by being a businessman, it is kind of interesting. We get to see business on business crime. We get to see people betraying the company. We get to see who he trusts and who he doesn't trust. I think this could be really interesting. On page 12, we see Mr. Terrific visiting his wife's gravestone as he reflects on their time together, recalling what she really meant to him. She wasn't just a partner, she was a guide, his true better half. Whenever he was lost, she would help him up back on track. He falls to his knees and sheds a tear and says, "Babe, I think I messed up." Okay, here's my notes for this scene. I love this scene. It's super impactful. And even though I can't personally relate, I don't have a kid nor wife, it's still hard. It still hits hard. This comic makes me feel like I can put my heart into this guy. Like I can put my pain into him. Like I can really empathize with what he's saying. But the real question is that I feel like this comic asks is, how do you move on without the light in your life? You stumble to the darkness and you just hope. And maybe we'll see that stumble on series 2 or whatever, chapter 2. On page 13, we just see some people sneaking in. I just wrote here as my notes, surprise ninjas. Page 14, it's revealed to be Dre and a group of his friends trying to stop the device that is hurting people, hurting and killing people by making them sick. This shows Dre isn't scared. He was ready to step up. He even brought a skeleton key from his brother lab. And that's where I put, okay, I have a feeling that he's going to die. Yeah, hey guys, he's probably going to die. Page 15, they accidentally messed up and get caught. And we see an untrained group fighting guards while one of the guys hacks into the machine to figure out what's going on. I have no notes for this section, but after thinking upon it, my note is, wow, if you're getting beat by 5 untrained guys and you are a DC guard, yo, get the fuck out of here. Like, that should be the minimum, bro. You should be able to defeat 5 people. Look, yeah, I'm just saying that should be the minimum, because you got to fight Superman, you got to fight Batman. You don't know what you're guarding, so you got to really be in there. You can't even defeat 5 normal people. Yeah, dude, you shouldn't have gotten paid for this job. You should get fired. Page 16, the villain activates the engine, and we immediately see it's making everyone sick. Drake falls to the ground, clutching his head. And honestly, I want to say this. This is my notes. Once again. But how the fuck, bro? You're such a schemer. You're such a planner. But you make something that immediately makes people sick immediately once it's on. I actually kind of wonder, is this some advanced form of gentrification? Like, make all the poor people sick and then expand her company into the weakened areas? Like, is he a super gentrifier? That would be fucking interesting and hilarious, low-key. Like, evilness with a passion, I guess. On page 17, we cut to Terrific lying in bed before Drake calls him, asking for a pickup. Holt says, "Say less," before getting dressed, as his brother urges him to hurry. Meanwhile, we see the owner walking around with a blood trail behind her, the owner of the new company, berating her guards for letting 2 people escape. My notes for this section is, I like how Drake calls his brother for help. It shows that for some people, Terrific is their guide, their light. And even though he feels lost, other people find him reliable. And I think this really has to say here. If Mr. Terrific was really helping Gateway City, Dre's love for the city doesn't come from him. Dre probably didn't even give a fuck about the city. And so Terrific showed interest in the city. I'm just saying, I'm just speculating. But why is Dre so passionate and willing to risk his life? He's a fitness guru. He can be anywhere. And Terrific doesn't necessarily care about the city either because he's in a rut. So I can only assume that Terrific's love of the city kind of bled into Dre. And that's why he also loves the city now. You know, Terrific was Dre's hero. On page 18, we see Holt pull up and Dre hops in, explaining the situation as the guards try and catch up with him. Dre asks if the car can go any faster, and Terrific tells the AI that's also integrated into the car for some reason, show them what he got. The afterburners ignites as they drive off. Now, hold on. This is my notes here. I love how before he has the mask / context, like the Terrific mask context, has to wear those big ugly ass glasses. Small details, but it adds up a lot when telling a year one story because we get to see how the character gets ideas for other things. You know what I'm saying? So that's my note. Pineapple notes. In 19, we see them get away, laughing and enjoy the moment. Holt and Dre pull up to a mountainside where Dre asks if Holt knows any good lawyers. Holt jokes that Dre would need one after breaking into the company. Luckily, Dre caught everything on camera, so they don't leave empty-handed. So they didn't leave empty-handed. Sorry, my notes are a little bit iffy. Look, we then see someone watching them through a scope. A shot is fired at Dre. Now, I called it. Dre was gonna die. Dre was in danger. Dre was gonna die. And the body cam plan was really smart. I probably should have said that earlier, but when they were doing the backpack thing, they had body cams. But yeah, I'm gonna go over my notes for this page after the last page. 5 years time, I'll be up and around. The last page, we see Terrific stand over his now shot brother yelling, Dre! Now, here's my notes for this. I hope this isn't the last time we've seen him see Dre. Okay, I will speak from the heart here. I'm not going to read off my script. I hope this is not the last time we see Dre, honestly, because I think he will make a good League of Assassins member. He was kind of already doing the job as a League Assassins member supposed to do, which is like eco-terrorism. This is what I would consider eco-terrorism, right? So I don't want him to die, and it would be actually cool if he was brought back by the Lazarus Pit or by something in some capacity and joins the League of Assassins. That's about it. That's my notes here.